Good afternoon, EVS Owls, and greetings from the Enfield Village School. This afternoon, I'm going to ask you to make a decision. An important decision, and one that I had shared with you I would be asking you to make this Friday or over the weekend. And that is a decision about what learning model your children will follow over the course of the second quarter. You will see a survey attached to this message that is very similar to the survey that we sent home in August, asking you to make the same decision. Now, that decision was difficult in August because both of the options were kind of scary. You know, what would in-person learning look like under COVID-19? You know, would the proper precautions be taken? And with Remote Academy, what was Remote Academy going to look like? You know, was that going to be similar to the experience that we had this past spring that was difficult for a lot of parents, put a lot of the ownership for the educating on parents. So it was a tough decision. And I think that decision is tough again today, but for a different reason. And that is that I think you have two very good options to choose from. In-person learning has gone incredibly well. I think better than, certainly than I anticipated, but I think better than a lot of parents and staff members had anticipated as well. Things here really are, they're good. And with a couple obvious exceptions, they're pretty normal. Kids are happy, they're learning, they're moving about the building. We're carrying on with a lot of the same traditions and pieces that we always have, with a couple obvious accommodations and modifications, but things are going well. I think the same can be said of our Remote Academy. So Remote Academy is very, very different than it was this past spring. Students have a lot more time with their teachers, a lot more face time, a lot more direct instruction, and parents are able to be hands off of their kids' learning. Yes, they're supervising their kids still, and of course they're helping out from time to time, but it is a lot, the expectations on parents are lesser in a good way, in a way that allows our teachers to be the teachers and our parents to be the parents. So this decision to be made today is once again tough. Because there are two good options at your disposal. I do want to make very clear that this decision is binding. I think that was not clearly communicated to families the first time around, but what you decide today is the decision that we will live with until the beginning of third quarter, which I believe is the first week of February. So we're looking at the next couple of months to live with either our remote option or our in-person option. For those that are considering making a switch, I just want to let folks know, if you're moving from Remote Academy to in-person learning, know that students are wearing masks here all day long from start to finish at this point, with the exception of times when they're eating or drinking, and a couple mask breaks throughout the day that would be had outside. Also, when students have any one of a number of symptoms characteristic of COVID-19, we are asking parents to come pick students up, and they are not allowed back here until after they have a negative COVID test result or they've been out of school for 10 days. So there are still challenges with learning in person. For families that are considering moving from in-person learning to remote learning, I just want to let you folks know there are challenges. So students are needing to be on their computer in a Google Hangout with their teachers 3 and 4 times a day for 20 to 30 minute periods of time. And those teachers have high expectations of those students, just as our teachers here in the building have high expectations of our students. So definitely worth considering what the challenges will be in making a move between models. If we do not hear from you, so if you do not fill out the survey, we are assuming that you are maintaining your current course. So if you are currently in person and we don't hear from you on the survey, we're going to plan on your child being an in-person learner. And if you are currently remote and we don't hear from you, we're going to plan on your child being a remote learner. And that will be true again for the next couple of months. Again, this decision, or the lack thereof, it is a decision and it is binding, so we are not making moves. When we have all this information, we're going to be doing things like shuffling desks and shuffling chairs and rearranging Chromebooks and chargers. We may need to open a new classroom. We may need to close a classroom. We may need to move a teacher from in-person learning to remote learning. And after we've made all those changes, it's not fair to the staff or the students to be making moves. For me to bring a student in midstream could have a domino effect on many students and many families. Similarly, to move a student out of in-person learning to remote learning has an impact on those families that have selected remote learning. I don't want to make those remote classrooms too large either. Those teachers need to be able to devote an appropriate amount of time to all the students assigned to them and their rosters. So think about this very carefully, and please make the decision that is right for you and your child and your family, and know that you really can't go wrong. I think there are two very good options here. This building is very safe right now. We know if things got really bad in the area, we would close the building down. And I think that students really are learning in Remote Academy as well. So two very good options that may fit different families differently here, but please consider this carefully and complete the survey. Picture day yesterday went great. It was nice to see so many of our remote families outside in the tent getting their picture taken. We're excited about Halloween next week, and we know that's going to look a little different for our in-person learners and our remote learners, but I think we should have fun either way. Remember, there's the Halloween parade on Halloween on that Saturday that hopefully we'll see a lot of our students and staff and families either in the parade or along the parade route. But we're excited. We've got some fun stuff coming up. So thank you all for your attention to this video and this survey. Thank you all for your continued support and understanding and flexibility. We appreciate it very much. And yeah, things are going well at the Enfield Village School. So who cares for you? We do. How much? So much. So much. Have a great evening.